Hey, what's going on, everybody? We are back and you're live. This is episode 33 of the fAnaticZ podcast. I'm Damien.
I'm Frankie. It is beautiful to be back.
Long time no see, y'all.
I can
Damien,
remind you
it's
that's
good to see you,
Dylan.
brother.
Yeah, it's good to see you guys too. Man, woo! It's been a whirlwind couple weeks for me. I'm happy to be back. I'm happy that football is so close to being back. Um, my my investor for my music career, he texted me yesterday that his season tickets are in. He's a Seattle Seahawks fan, unfortunately.
Ooh,
He texted me the November 9th Seattle Seahawks game that we always go to. He texted me the ticket. He's like, we're going to be cold this year. It's November 9th. We face the Seahawks in Seattle. I'm going to get a lot of coverage from the front row for our podcast that day. I'm so excited. And I'm also excited that the Cardinals released their schedule.
I know. It's
dude,
unfortunate
that's
that they don't take a
it.
trip to Denver this year, but hopefully next year they'll make it out to Denver so I can
Yeah.
see him. So
They're going to be on a rocket ship to Denver.
We got some pretty favorable games this year. I'm not gonna lie. Like I think if nothing else, 10-7 is very realistic.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say this right now. Hey, listen, Mac Wilson, senior, you got to ball out this year, bro. You got to go crazy because you have an opportunity to use the schedule release, which is weird for me to even say. You have an opportunity to use the schedule release to catapult your career. So get it in, bro.
Dude, yeah, I was gonna ask you guys if you saw Mac Wilson's drop of his music video.
I saw that it dropped, but I just never listened to it.
I
Even
dropped it in the group chat.
they even have a T-shirt, which honestly I wouldn't mind getting because that's pretty. Like it, it wasn't bad.
So apparently, I watched an interview with him, and the team reached out to him for him to do it. So they knew he had rapped or whatever, and him and his brother they make music. So I was like, I checked it out. It was cool. It was funny, and I think the Cardinals they never try to get with the times. This is the first time I see them try to do something that's like, okay, maybe people will get excited about this team outside of the normal demographic that the team normally pulls.
I tell you what, there's a lot of teams that did some interesting, stuff for the schedule release. Honestly, did you guys see the one that was freaking the Colts did for Tyreek Hill? They did a freaking Dolphins with a dolphin with a Tyreek Hill jersey, and then the Coast Guard shows up, basically kind of mocking his arrest.
That was the only
No.
that was the only thing I saw of it. I only saw pixels of it because by the time I went to go look at it, it was already taken down.
That was absolutely insane. Like you is if you're a professional organization, you're taking that big of a swing. That takes some cojones.
And also some pretty dumb people to approve it.
No kidding, because it's just like that reflects on your team and your freaking city, and people are looking at that as like, oh my gosh.
Well, even if it's harmless and Tyreek even laughed, he don't care. You know that it's just gonna be like something that's gonna just get you, I don't know, like backlash, I guess, even if it's not warranted. Why do that before the season even starts? With a sucky team that has a lot of people with a lot to prove.
Dude, they even had Will Levis get hit by a bus.
What in the world? Who approved that? I wish I would have saw it when it came out. They had Will Levis getting hit by a bus. That's next level crazy.
And it's funny because like the bus was like, I'm not saying like I don't know 100% if that's what they were going for, but the bus was like I guess representing all of Levis's critics, and then obviously why the Titans went ahead and drafted their third quarterback in the first round in 3 years.
Yeah, man. I don't know.
Gosh.
Pretty pretty high level insanity. Let's pivot back way back to the desert with our guys. The schedule just came out. Am I jumping the gun or is this what we're talking about?
Yeah, the
No,
schedule.
Yes, the schedule.
Yeah.
So I feel like the first game is a gimme. How do you guys feel? about the New Orleans Saints because that's who the first game is, I believe.
The bigger question
Hmm.
is, do you guys think that the starting quarterback is going to be Spencer Rattler or Tyler Shaw?
Now, quickly, let's. Where did Tyler Shaw go to high school?
Hmm.
Chandler, Arizona, Hamilton High School.
Ooh, locally.
I did not know that Tyler Shaw was actually a baller out here. Then went to college and got terrible somehow, and then now he has a chance to prove that he's good again. Also, Spencer Rattler was an Arizona quarterback as well, was he
That's
not?
insane.
So we got some desert boys dueling it out. I hope one of them wins that job and gets crushed by the Cardinals on week one because the defense with that offensive line and just the rookie quarterback, I don't think that Kyler Murray should have to do too much magic. I think the defense should have a really good shutdown game, and we should win that game handily.
100%.
mean,
Like,
t-
the game you have to expect to win.
Definitely don't like either QB for the Saints. I mean, they've always had a good defense. I mean,
Yeah.
tough road game in the Superdome, brother. I'm kidding. Um, yeah, tough game though for the team overall because you know how loud he can get and all that. But is Will Johnson said he's healthy, right? So we're under
Yes,
the
like,
assumption
good
that
to go.
he's good to go week one then off the bat with this
Hmm.
defense. I mean, with Will Johnson out there already with
Garrett
why can't
Williams.
it Garrett Williams? Yeah, I know. So
You got Buda Baker, Jalen
that
Thompson.
too.
Wait, time out,
Yes.
time out, time out. So we're just assuming that Will Johnson is starting week one.
So listen, that's why I was asking because he already said that he's
I'm
good to
not saying from
go.
an injury standpoint. I'm saying from like winning the job. He's still a rookie. We still got to see him play.
I think he's got that kind of talent. I'm not like he's still got to show the work at camp, but I'm definitely encouraged because the dude played against some of the best receivers in college football, and I feel like that he's if anybody can translate directly and right away to the next level and be that next Patrick Surtain Jr., it's going to be Will Johnson.
He still has to learn our scheme. We have a guy on hand that knows it already, and we don't have to bring him along too quickly, especially if the knee isn't kneeing. I don't know if he'll start the first game. I think we'll get a healthy dose of him. Not sure if he'll start. I hope he starts. I hope that he's out there dominating in training camp, and it's like that. So, but you
I
got
feel
to
like
consider the reality though.
assuming that Will's playing and all our rookies get a couple of their fair shares and all that, and Kalai is back and what we discussed and yada 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 offense. I mean, I can see us winning, low scoring game though.
And see, just think about that directly. Like, defensively, we have not had this kind of excitement in years. And to think about Calais Campbell being able to
I forgot that we
lead
got
and
Calais
help
Campbell
this
back.
defensive line grow,
That doesn't
absolutely
feel
absurd.
real. Yeah, like you said, absurd, Frankie. Absolutely absurd. I mean, I would put it like this. I think you should. Well, no, you keep your expectations where you want them, Dylan. But with Trey McBride and Drew Petzing on kind of a hot seat, I think that we're gonna score a lot more touchdowns than we did last year. So I don't think it's gonna be low scoring on our part. Maybe it'll be low scoring for them, but
I'm
it can't be low scoring for us. We have too many weapons.
doesn't mean no Saints have a baller defense and they've always have.
Yeah,
So
that's true, but they're old now. Those ballers are now all
I'm
old.
making my picks are with the assumption because I think we can easily have a top five defense. I'm going to be on that mindset, but I'm still going to be on iffy and on our offensive standpoint. So that's where my picks are going to stand at.
By the way, underrated note, like stat, Brandon Cooks is back in New Orleans. So that's going to be a good matchup for our,
But
our young corners
but
to.
for real, bro,
What?
Brandon Cooks, bro, for real.
Dude, he can't cook.
I don't want to hate. I love Brandon Cooks. I love Brandon Cooks. I'm a big Brandon Cooks fan, man. But well, he's old, brother. He's old.
Dude,
These
he's
young
gonna
bucks,
be whoever it is in New Orleans. He's gonna be
man.
the security blanket.
Listen, if Will Johnson is out there and he's not clamping up him, if Garrett Williams can't clamp him up, then we're in trouble, buddy.
Here's one last question for that game for week 1. Is Alvin Kamara even on that team still?
He is.
He is, bro.
But damn, I thought he would
I
have been
think
long gone by now.
he's barely in there hanging on, bro.
Yep. So as long as we can contain Kamara, which I feel like we definitely should with our improvements now, we can easily win
Hey,
this game by at least
if we can't
6 to
contain
9
Kamara
points.
from running, then everyone's fired because we just spent so much time improving the run defense. Like,
See, and then
Definitely.
here's this thing.
I would be so pissed off.
Here's the thing. We have 2 straight games against the NFC South, and then game number 2 is a rematch from a game that we lost last year that we easily should have won with Carolina coming into State Farm Stadium.
I'll be at this game too. This game is the day before my birthday, September 14th, so I will be in the building. 15th is my birthday, so I'll party with the Cardinals victory. But I'll be at the game on the 14th to root the home team on against Bryce Young. We got to get that back. That's terrible.
It's going to be an interesting matchup, though, to see either Will Johnson or Garrett Williams match up against Teteroa McMillan, because you know he's going to be the main target that Bryce Young's going to look for.
Yep, he's going to be the only target that he has.
No, I mean, Xavier Legette is a pretty decent receiver, too.
Bruh, come on, bruh. He's decent, but bruh, if our cornerbacks can't do nothing with him, we're cooked. We're cooked because they got to be able to guard like Justin Jefferson and like actual really good receivers. So
I
end up
get it. We're
practicing
not going to
against.
lose this game, but
Listen, but
we should
listen,
have lost.
Frankie,
We should have won
Frankie,
last year.
listen. When they're running the ones in practice, they're going against Marvin Harrison Jr., Trey McBride, Michael Wilson, better receivers than Xavier Legette, all of them. So if they can't guard this guy, I'll be shocked.
And that's another thing for our offense this year. Just like Kyler Murray seems to think, Michael Wilson is going to take that step, and I think he's going to be a 1,000-yard receiver this year, finally.
Me too. I hope so, man. At least, even if not that, whatever. Just be a really big possession receiver in the end zone, and just get a bunch of those like little back of the end zone touchdowns, because that's what he's good at doing too. Outside of that,
I feel like Petzing's going to have a bigger bag of tricks this year instead of a more direct that, oh, we're going to try to go to Trey and then go to Marv in the red zone.
Trey's gonna be that number 1 technically. I feel like Mar's gonna be that number 2 guy, low key. Trey's
I'm
gonna get
okay
the
with that, or
bulk.
maybe one
I'm
A,
okay
one
with
B,
it too.
1A, 1B type of deal.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay.
Oh, Trey's gonna be that old reliable, like Gronk and fucking
Yeah,
more prime of a Kittle and Kelsey. Like he's gonna be like that, exactly like that before he
man.
gets
Whew.
older.
Dude, I'm excited. Man, we got like, what, 110 games or 110 days till the season starts again?
That's still too long.
It is. It still
That's what
feels like
I'm saying.
forever. That's almost like a third of a year. That's way too long. Disgusting.
That's what I'm saying. And then
So
game
Crazy.
number 3 is on the road against San Francisco, so we should be 2-0 going into the Bay.
we didn't even discuss game 2 yet.
The Panthers, we did.
Oh, we
We
did.
we didn't really finish discussing it honestly, but we started.
Oh,
But I
Yeah, we
mean,
started. We were talking
so
about Xavier
so
Legette.
Panthers rematch. So Panthers rematch.
Yeah, Panthers rematch. What do
Okay,
you think?
cool. I
Who's
mean, revenge game. I can see us going 2-0.
I mean,
Bryce
essentially,
Bryce Young still has
game.
a Bryce Young still has a lot of proof because he got shitted on so much last year, and he's almost out of a job at this point if he keeps playing the way he keeps playing. So
no? Well, he
Bryce
had a little
Young,
bounce back at the end of
he did,
last
he
year.
did, he did, but he still has hella to prove though because
Yeah. Yep. No, he does. He does.
I look at it this way: everybody that's got a heavy contract, they've got a lot to prove this year because last year's team went 8-9, and if you think of everything that we improved, especially on the defensive side and how we shored up that offensive line a little bit. If we don't at least win 2 more games, it's a disappointment in my opinion.
Yeah, I feel that. I don't want to lose those first two games. I would like to win those just to stack those wins against teams that we should beat. You
especially
know.
for that revenge game for screwing us over a playoff game when we should have easily won that game.
Yeah, that was weird. I
That
hated
Dude,
that.
has to be a revenge game. That
It
has
does.
to, in fact, that has to be a blowout game. If
we have to
Kyler's
make
going to be
it.
hot off the wheels, and this offense is as potent as it should be, and with all the guys we had on defense, this absolutely should be a blowout game, like
Listen,
35-10 status.
I don't want to jinx it, but the last game I went to was the Rams game, and it was a blowout. It was on my birthday, and we blew them out of the building. So we'll see. But I think that's going to be a similar. They're going to suffer that similar fate that the Rams did last year, coming into our house and getting smoked like a pound of beef jerky.
I
Well,
mean, maybe my expectations are too high, but like I'm talking like Bama Roll type beat the dog shit out of them revenge game with the Cardinals. Like we need to run them out. Like, or that's
Yeah,
just
I mean, we
anger.
beat the
Maybe that's
Rams
just me
like
being angry too. Like
no, we
like
beat
a
the
lot of
Rams
Cardinal
like
fans,
42
but
10. We need to beat them that badly.
yeah, we do. We absolutely need to.
statement.
We got to house
Hmm.
them. That's a good point.
All
So
those Ohio State guys are gonna show out.
and then we need to turn right around and go to the San Francisco 49ers house and beat them too. We have to win that game. We got to win the division games. The first two division games are so important. We should win them both.
But not only that, but it's like it's wild that there's expectations again on us. Like we have not had that kind of vibe, honestly, since Kyler's when we still had JJ Watt on the team, for God's sake.
Yeah, I well, because I think that people know that if Kyler has a good team around him, then we can do something. Because
Well, not
this
only
team,
that, but it's like, in my opinion, the coaching staff is a lot more complete than it was back when Kingsbury was here.
yeah, yeah, the coaching staff, the front office in general, they make good decisions now, and they care. They want us to win. They're not just trying to put fancy players to sell tickets. I feel like that's what Steve Keim era they were doing. Like, let's get the most fancy free agent we can to make the fans feel like there's hope, and not really do much to win. They're installing a culture, a system, and a plan to win with Kyler Murray. So I like it.
Not only that, but it's like you're drafting guys that have had championship game experience, win big games. Like all the Ohio State guys that we brought in, besides Paris Johnson, especially in this draft, they have championship game experience. They're just off of a national championship. We need those guys in the building because winning and championship, mentality is contagious.
Yeah, those guys believe they can win football games. They don't know losing, and they don't have to because they got JG. The guys already we already lost enough, and the guys in the building lost enough. So with the guys that just came, don't have to lose. And we got Calais Campbell to mentor the guys on defense, and then we got some offensive vets like James Conner that can do it on the offensive side. I love it. It's
Not
good.
only that, but I think this is going to be Trey Benson's breakout year.
It has to be. He needs to go hard this year.
Not only that, but it's just like him having a big, year and taking pressure off of James Conner. It keeps Conner healthy to where when we get deeper into the season, we can count on him to be that big bruiser in the red zone that he can be.
For sure.
Bro,
And if Trey Benson can be something on his own, it gives the defense another dude to have to worry about.
bro,
This team is so hard to scheme against.
I know Trey Benson heard that Cam Scatterbo talk, how the Valley was raving and glorifying about Cam Scatterbo and just completely forgot about Trey Benson. So like absolutely make that statement in year two. He's like, hey, I heard that chatter about Cam. I'm
For
here.
sure.
So
I hope that lit a fire under him because yeah,
hmm
people were like, "Hey, we need Cam Scatterbo," and he's probably like, "For what? I'm right here."
us three were saying like literally saying like we have DeMarcado, we got Benson, Carter
Yeah,
here and
we
there.
were
Like
behind
we caught
Benson
like yeah, so like we have Carter hopping in here and there too. So like we're deep like running back as it is.
It's
So
Yeah,
insane. Yeah, I was gonna say we have four different guys that can come in and change the pace of the game.
yeah. We
That
don't
each
need a running back,
yes,
unfortunately.
I wouldn't have been
I just
mad.
hate that he went to the Giants because the Giants have the hardest strength of schedule in the whole NFL this year.
Yeah, but Giants had a solid draft in my opinion, though. I feel like they can actually be a 500 team, barely, maybe barely, but I feel like they can be a
Maybe.
decent team again.
Yeah,
So
that's the best I can see them being because the schedule is just ridiculous. I mean, they had a schedule like we had last year. It was just like the hardest teams right back to back. But our schedule this year, we have the 27th hardest schedule. So we have a pretty easy schedule. So I'll be pretty pissed off if we don't win a bunch of games.
And have you guys seen Jackson Dart's camp tape?
No, but I don't think I've
So
been hearing that it's pretty bad.
he'll flip. No, actually, I've been seeing good. He'll flip the ball like with his two hands before setting up to throw it. It's interesting. He'll flip it before going like this and then throw it.
Is it make it faster or slower?
I don't know that. I don't know if he did that in college too, but like,
Shit like
but
that
his
is not
throws.
good if it doesn't make
But
it faster.
but listen, his throw. How did I forget? Who's their number one? Fuck, help me
Cam
out.
Ward.
No, their wide
Neighbors,
receiver, neighbors. Yeah,
neighbors.
his throws to neighbors, bro, have been pretty crisp too. So
Well, shoot, you know another guy that's been super crisp in rookie camp, Shadur.
Shooter, yeah, we were talking about that.
Shedeur.
How Dylan Gabriel's looked like dog shit, already thrown 2 picks, and Shadur's looking sharp.
Dude, listen. Dylan Gabriel had no business being drafted, or Tyler Show had any business being drafted before Shadur Sanders. But hey, sometimes the way you act or the way you interview determines how you get the job.
Yeah, I mean, I look at it this way. I think, especially with his first couple weeks there, the way he's walked into the community and made himself known, I think, he's going to have a solid career there, especially if not only that, but it's like he's got a good veteran like Joe Flacco to learn from and get good tips from.
Hey, for me, I hated it at first, but now if he becomes a starter and has a good career, no one could ever say he didn't earn it.
Right, 100%, because he felt like, and we all know the only reason why he fell is just because of the interview process. But I don't think anybody fathomed that he would have fell as far as he did. That's like even like that's unworldly far to fall for some guy that had one of the highest completion rate. Actually, I think he had the highest completion rate in NCAA history.
I think he did something like that. I'm not sure, but you know what? You know what I thought? This could be a super conspiracy right here. I'm put my tinfoil hat on. Who's his mentor?
His daddy.
Brady.
Brady.
That
Shador,
I mean
outside of
that
his dad,
too,
he spends the
but
most time with Tom Brady. And Tom Brady wasn't no first round pick. Tom Brady wasn't the number two selected. What was he like? A
Dude,
fifth
six
rounder?
round, bro.
Yeah. And so, what if Shador and Tom
Six
Brady and
round, his
them
dad bought.
purposely got him um, to slide in the draft, knowing that he was going to go to Cleveland anyways? Just purposely got him to slide so he can have this crazy story when he comes out and fucking slams and does great. Now, if Shador Sanders ever wins the Super Bowl, remember I said this and clip this tape.
Not only that, but it's just like the chip that is on Shadur Sanders' shoulder is so big, he might as well be sponsored by Tostitos.
That's so funny. I love that. Hey, Tostitos, if you want to sponsor us, no, I'm just I eat Tostitos all the time.
Dude, they're good.
So good. So good.
I
Bro, it'd
think
be even
I think
better
we're
if
only
they.
on.
We are we jump into game number 4.
And then we're
Yeah,
on
let's go.
3.
No.
We're on
Yes.
3 because we
San
have
We
Francisco.
Panthers.
go.
San Francisco.
So should we just like quickly cover the division rivals?
Yeah, let's quickly
Since
cover them. We need to beat San
yeah.
Francisco because they're bad and their team regressed a bunch
We still
and a
need to
lot of
worry about
players.
Brock Purdy
So
though. He's
are
terrible.
there any NFC West teams that we might sweep this season that we feel like?
San Francisco. I know that sounds crazy. They always play us tough, but who did they add? What did they fix?
Yeah, McCaffrey is always on the fucking vacation mode too.
I don't believe in Brock Purdy, and if we can get more pressure on him than we had, we can beat them twice.
Honestly, I feel like well, Seattle's always a coin toss, but realistically, like I think you get rid of DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. I don't see how they like we realistically could beat them both times.
I think we split Seattle because
They always beat us at home.
so listen, like from a gambler's perspective, like you see some bullshit with the NFL, and like I feel like for some reason that we're gonna split with Seattle. There's always that one game where, and we see it every single year where they'll go back and forth. It's like 30 something to 20 something, and it's like 6-9 the next game.
100%.
And then either team just barely gets away with it. So like I feel like we're gonna split Seattle somehow, some way.
I think that Seattle always beats us, and when it's like 12-9 or 10-7 or something dumb like that.
Well, not only that, but it's like this year you have the transition from like how many they transitioned from Geno Smith to Sam Darnold. So you go from a different skill set at the quarterback position.
Bro, who's their head
they got
coach?
Jalen Milroe too.
Who's their head coach?
I don't know.
What the hell? We're gonna sweep them. Who's their head coach? Bro, who's their head coach? They got Sam Darnold. I don't know, man. I don't like them. But they always beat us, bro. They're rivals, man. There's something about those rivalry games, especially when they come to Arizona. I don't know.
It's the Seattle games that commit problems.
The Seattle games are always so like slow and bad. Whenever I go there, it's always. I mean, it's nice sometimes, but the games are always smuggy and slow, horrible games. I'm like, can I see the shootout game? Like, can y'all give me the shootout game? I'm front row. I don't want to be front row.
That's what I saw last year when we won those free tickets to that Broncos and Browns game when it was like back and forth and Judy just went off. So I got lucky on that one, even though the Cardinals didn't play. But
bro, you know what game is going to be a shootout? When we have Cam Ward coming to town with the Titans.
Yeah, they're gonna get shot out the building. We're gonna. Wait,
so we're on agreements like San Francisco split or San Francisco sweep and split the rest.
Seattle split.
Yes, Seattle split, Rams split, and then yeah,
we got to split with the Rams.
Dude, the Rams are. I mean, as long as they got Stafford in the building, it's gonna be 50-50.
And Jared Verse is gonna get better.
He's a stud.
Yeah, we'll split with the Rams. Hopefully.
And then not only that, but it's like you have the chance that the Rams are gonna reunite with Jalen Ramsey this offseason still.
He's not coming here.
So technically be 4-2 right now with the Cardinals for me.
So where do you see the two? Wait.
So we covered the division rivals, got them out of the way.
So are you cutting both of those as losses, then?
No, I'm saying San Fran is a sweep, and then all the Seattle and LA are splits.
So but we're going in chronological order of how the games happen.
Oh, okay.
So realistically, we're 3-0 going into the Seattle game in week 4.
And where was it played?
Week 4?
September 25th.
No, where?
Oh, it's going to be here.
Yeah, we'll lose that one.
And then win at their place?
Yep. Every year.
So do we beat Tennessee in week 5?
With Cam Ward?
I think so. How can we not?
So
that could be one of those games we fuck around and lose. I didn't see James Conner running wild on their defense. I don't know why.
Yeah, I feel like we can beat Tennessee too.
Yeah, I don't know.
So 4-1 going into Indianapolis.
Oh, go ahead and bring that up as a win for me too.
Indianapolis.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So
yeah.
5-1.
This is a really big year for Tyler.
Why does their schedule seem so easy?
It's the 27th easiest, it's the 27th hardest, so it is an easy schedule.
So we got 5-1, and then we're going into Green Bay. We play at Lambeau.
We're getting dumped. We're getting dumped. I'm sorry, guys.
I don't think we're gonna get dumped.
I think we'll
lose. I think we'll lose, but it'll be close. So I'll take that. I'll take another loss right there. You know why? Because we've been playing lazy competition, and then that'll be the first good team in a while. So we'll probably lose that game.
I feel like I was gonna say. I feel like it's one of those games that you can go a coin toss because Jordan Love is a good quarterback, but you never know if he's going to be the guy that goes he has 0 turnovers, or he's going to have like 5 touchdowns and 3 interceptions.
For sure.
I'm about to bet the over on Jordan Love passing every week. I don't care how trashy he plays. He just likes to go over 300 every week.
And like I said, he is going to put up 305 touchdowns, but you don't know if it's going to be 0 or the 3 interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm in agreement with that. We lose to Green Bay, whatever.
And then week 8 is our bye week.
That's a good bye.
That's a really good bye. Going into
last
bye
year?
week at 5-2.
What? Huh?
5-2 is a really good record going into the bye week.
Last year was a really late bye.
Yeah, last year was a late bye.
Wasn't it like 13 or something like that?
Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then after the bye week, we go into Jerry World.
Oh, automatic W when you have Kyler Murray.
I'll go double on that
in
one.
AT&T Stadium.
He's undefeated, bro. The team is gonna play harder for him to keep that record.
Do you think lock down both?
And we always beat Dallas. I don't know what it is. They just can't beat us, bro.
Do you think we're gonna lock down both Lamb and Pickens though?
Mm-hmm.
Bro, Dak Prescott's not that good.
He's not, bro.
See, he's one of those guys that's like Derek Carr. Like he's not that.
Bro,
he's
and
not
CD,
great, but he's not bad.
CD and Kyler were really good friends because they did college together, and they were teammates.
Dude, that was to think that freaking Kyler Murray played with both prime Hollywood Brown and CD Lamb.
Right, it was impossible for him to suck.
Like that just like some of the guys that they get to play with in college, it's like
it's ridiculous, like all-star teams, and you don't even know it.
100%.
All right, what do we got next?
So wait, so is that a win or a loss?
So we
are 6-2 going into Seattle.
Damn, another win.
Oh, looks great. Oh, wait. Hey, guys, you know the theme I've been saying? It looks great for now, but let's go on the rest of the schedule, though. It's great for now, guys. We're 6-2. Everyone's excited.
So since we lost at home to Seattle, we win the one in Seattle, right?
Yes, that's what we decided.
That is 7-2. That is insane.
It looks great.
But we were 6-4 last year. It's really not that far off.
San Francisco comes into State Farm the next week, so we realistically, if you called a sweep, we are 8-2.
Yeah.
I'm starting to feel unrealistic, but let's keep going.
Then we have Jacksonville.
Oh man, 9-2, baby. We're riding high. Riding high.
Dude, you awesome. Think Travis Hunter plays both sides?
Yeah, I don't think it's a good idea.
I had one shot to nail. it.
And you got it. You got that bitch in. That was hilarious.
No, I was trying to mock that, coach.
Yeah, the Liam Cohen. It was perfect too.
Yeah.
He had the weakest Duval I've ever seen, but he worked on it. He came back strong and has a good Duval now. So can't fault the man. He learned.
9-2. That's what you call names.
Yes.
Then next Tampa Bay at Tampa Bay.
That's an L.
I'm gonna say we lose this game.
Mike Evans is gonna torch us. I'm sorry.
I say we.
And they got Godwin. Hey, but
we don't gotta get all crazy.
But listen,
Kyler Murray
9-3.
Kyler Murray has to beat Baker head to head every time they play. Just listen.
We're going to compete in this game, but because of our defense, we finally have 2 corners to match up with teams like Tampa Bay when they got Godwin and Evans, and LA with what they got. So like we're gonna stay hella close with it, but we're still gonna lose. Baker's gonna bake, and I feel like it's just gonna be some kind of runaway win for the Tampa Bay.
He has to get a game against Kyler eventually because Kyler beat him head to head whenever they played. So
9-3 after that game.
Yep.
With the Tampa loss, we have LA coming in. Are we 9-4? Are we 10-3?
Where was it at?
It's at State Farm.
Fuck. Did I say L last time? for LA?
It's going to be a split. That's our first game with LA.
Oh, it's at State Farm.
Yeah.
We lose that one.
So you think we win both of our splits on the road?
I think that we win this game.
We just because listen, we can't seem to ever fucking win at home. It's been like that for 2-3 years now.
We beat the Rams at home last year, so I'm gonna say we beat them at home this year too.
But listen, it's a pattern though. We're 2 in a row now.
Listen,
I just think we're losing.
So that's our first game against the Rams. I think we'll beat them. We'll beat them. We can split off here.
We'll lose at home. We'll beat them in LA.
What am I? 10-4, and he's
Dude, it's either 9 or it's either 10-3 or 9-4.
I'm 9-4 right now. I'm 9-4.
I'm at 10-3.
All right, then we got Houston. The next game at Houston.
Sheesh, 10-4.
9-5. We're not beating Houston.
I think we can beat them, but just for the sake of win-loss ratio, I'm gonna go 10-4 for me.
And then next week after that, Michael Penix Jr. and the Falcons come into State Farm.
11-4.
10-5.
Nice. I love this. And week 17, we play Burrow and Chase.
10-6.
12-5.
Ooh.
10-6.
And then week 18, the last regular season game, we are at SoFi playing the Rams.
Jeez.
11-6.
12-7.
I like it, guys.
But you notice how I said the downfall to the second half of the season, but that's a better record.
Hey, if we end up with either of those records, I'm overjoyed. If we win 10, 11 games, that means we have a guaranteed playoff spot.
So I have the least favorable record, huh?
What about you, Frankie?
I realistically can see us winning. There's no way we don't win at least 10 games, but I feel like we win at least 11.
Yeah, I think we have to win 10 minimum. Like, we have to win 10 games.
What was our OU last season for the Cardinals?
8.5, I believe, or was 7.5 or 8.5.
We were close last year.
I think we hit it.
So are we technically raising our OU bar this year on the Cardinals?
100%. Like, this
we have to, bro.
Yeah.
Years.
We have to. It has to be 9.5. Like, that's where it's at.
I'm starting at 10.
Yeah, our OU is at 10 right this year. It has to be 10 if we want to be far, like high seed in the playoffs.
10,
no, we have to go over 10.
Okay.
If we hit 11, bro, then that's a fucking good ass season.
Yeah,
and a good improvement.
The minute we get that, we go to our sports betting app and we lock in 10 and we see what happens at the end of the year.
Hey, we're gonna do that? Cardinals at 10 wins? Oh, that sounds enticing.
Where can we find that? I'm sure
now here's the question though.
The schedule just dropped.
I wonder what their odds are of winning the NFC West.
Ooh,
that's great. That's a great thought because
I feel like we're the number 2 because I feel like for some reason I feel like the Rams are going to be favored.
You think they're going to give us that high of a rating?
I think we're better than Seattle.
Yeah, but just by namesake, they're going to just not give it to us because of the reputations.
But we're better than both Seattle and the Niners right now.
I think so too.
So I'd be disappointed if we weren't at number 2.
And not only do I think so, we had better records than them, right? Like, or maybe not Seattle, but we did have a better record than San Francisco last year.
Yeah, we won 2 more games than they did.
So people trying to talk like we are so bad when we weren't worse than San Francisco. That's for sure.
Last year we were 2 plays away from being 10-7.
And in the playoffs, it's frustrating that how that happened.
Like, literally, think about it. If we don't collapse against the Lions and we beat the Panthers like we were supposed to, we're 10-7.
Or if we just beat the Minnesota Vikings. I don't know. We lost that game 27-26. You know?
That was.
That's the defense. One more stop, bro.
Hey, you know what we also need to do before preseason starts too? We have to find out who the winner was for last year's fucking pick'ems.
Oh yeah. Oh
Cause
my
when
god.
preseason, cause listen, when preseason comes around, fucking that
It's over
college
with.
and the college and Madden game comes out if we don't pick the jerseys. So, because remember the winner gets those either those two games or the jersey of their choice. So,
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have to go back and tally it up for sure.
yo, I was in first place for the longest time. So y'all better pray you caught up.
Oh, believe me, I know I did. You was wilding out towards the end of the season, picking bullshit. So
Hey,
I'm
dude,
pretty confident.
I was like hovering the line the entire time.
Like each of us should get like 4 weeks to tally, and then we'll just come back and what we get.
So wait, what? We go in and do our own tally?
Yeah, for like 4 weeks or whatever. Like,
Okay.
so that's like 16 weeks. One of us get like 5 weeks or whatever, and then boom. That'd probably be the
We-
quickest way to figure out who
so
the
you're
winner
saying we
is.
each cover a certain span of time,
So like I get 1 through 4, and then
right?
someone gets 5 to 9, then someone gets 10 is whatever. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. We're
yeah,
gonna have to. It's gonna be tricky, but we can do it like that.
Oh yeah. That way, each of us have a part, and then we make sure we have everything tallied correctly.
yeah. I need
But
to
man,
start grinding. I need to start grinding on Madden soon too, because it's what, May, June, July. So I got 2.5 months to grind and get good again, and
yeah.
beat Damien's
So
ass.
it
I
does.
tell
You
you
gotta
what.
practice on that shit.
Besides the schedule release, what do you guys have? You guys caught up with anything that's going on in the camp? I'm hearing the rookies are looking good.
I haven't seen any camp videos actually.
I haven't seen camp videos. No.
There's a video that the Cardinals shared of Walter Nolan absolutely obliterating one of those freaking lineman stands.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say a human being, like from the offensive line. Like, please
Right.
do.
Me too. I'm like, holy cow! Why did they do
I'm like,
that?
yes, please. Like, who did he run over on the offensive line?
But I mean, just having a guy like that who's like one of the highest upsides in the draft, and then you have a guy like Calais Campbell that he can learn from.
Yeah, they
And the
did it
guys that
right.
were hurt last year too.
And then made up with Patrick Peterson just in time for him to show Will Johnson a thing or two.
I'm just super
And
excited.
Denzel Burke. Denzel Burke is from Arizona. Said he grew up rocking Patrick Peterson jerseys and Larry Fitzgerald. So
And I feel like he could be our sleeper three because I mean, you are a pretty darn good corner if you have the most starts in Ohio State history.
right. I think that people are sleeping on him, and he's gonna come in and damn, we might have a really good defensive secondary.
Well,
That
shoot,
might be crazy.
the way it's going, the freaking
Give us
Kentrell
2 years.
Clark and
Give us
Murphy
2
Bunting
years.
be on the outside looking in.
Right.
Yeah, he's sleeping on Taylor Demerson. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dorian Taylor Demerson, whatever the fuck his name is. But
yeah,
he
right.
was a baller too last year.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
any
Taylor
situation you
Dimmerson.
put him in,
Yeah,
he's
he's underrated too. Nobody's talking about him ever, and Duke can ball.
everybody in our secondary is a baller.
Right.
The no-fly zone is reestablished.
It could very might be. Like I said about 10, 15 minutes ago, like I'm a firm believer that this defense can be top 5 in the NFL and
Oh,
stay top
absolutely,
5.
especially when you have one of the up and coming defensive coaches in the league like Nick Rawlis.
Right. And a defensive coordinator like Jonathan Gannon as head coach. He was the Philly magician for a while. So those guys know what they're doing. We got the players, and we got the offensive players, and I think, man, we'll see. I love this. I like being excited about the Cardinals again.
Well, and
And
somebody else that we should be excited about, especially the last couple series that they have played in.
Not the Diamondbacks.
Oh, well, that's what I was thinking.
That's what you were gonna say. Yeah, we should be excited about the Diamondbacks.
yeah, I
I
mean, offensively, yes, but their pitching, absolutely not.
Yeah, it is insane to think that they've had 2 games this year where they've scored 11 runs, one in Chicago and then one against LA, that they have lost.
Yeah, that's insane. That should never happen.
But I mean, it does look. I do think that it looks promising. The last 2 series that we got it, even though it should have been the 3-1 with that game that I just mentioned, a 2-2 split with LA, and then a 2-1 win against San Francisco. That's pretty decent considering everything we've been dealing with our pitching.
So not bad, mate. And
Yeah, I mean, we could. I mean, LA did get away with at least one in that series, and we could. I mean, yeah. Overall, I mean, how many games did we just play in a row before finally getting an off day, like 16 or something like that?
that's crazy.
And we went 8-8 throughout that stretch.
The word of the show is absurd because that is absurd.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
insane.
Another question I got is whatever happened to those Ryan Helsley talks? Because that spark didn't die down pretty quick. Because we are still badly need a ninth inning guy.
Well, you know what's insane? We have 10 pitchers on our roster that have an ERA of 5 or greater.
Yeah, it's crazy. You know what? I watched the Giants game that we won 8-7, and I think they had Shelby Miller close it out. I don't think I've ever been more terrified watching baseball in my whole life. I was just
Listen,
scared the whole time. I'm like, oh,
listen, man.
oh
I'm gonna be the
no,
first person to
oh.
pitch this. Sorry to interrupt. I'm gonna be the first person to pitch this idea. And this guy's starting to irk me in baseball now, like Kyler is the football. But if Eduardo Rodriguez, getting paid $75 million, doesn't get his fucking shit together, I would not be opposed to seeing Shelby Miller earning a starting spot in that rotation the way he's been pitching in that bullpen.
That's a I oh that is oh if
I
that
would, I would, I would,
happens,
I
he
would
could have the call of
substitute
the
that with
year.
Ryan Nelson. You definitely the first person I've heard say Shelby Miller. Holy.
Dude, that
Listen, he's had starting experience before, did not go well, but like he's been balling since he left Arizona. Has not played horrible since he left here. Came back here, he's been stellar in that bullpen.
not
Why
only
not
that,
give
Bro,
him one more shot?
listen, Stellar. He walked a run in. He walked like three people in a row and made the
Bro,
games from 8-6
everybody,
to.
everybody has a bad outing, but not as
Bro,
consistently.
listen. When I watched that game, bro, my heart was skipped a beat every time that man threw the baseball.
Listen,
but Dave,
everybody has a bad game. That's it's only bad game of the year, bro.
it,
Unlike
it
No,
everybody else
man.
in our rotation. How many
Listen,
games has
just remember
Mer-
when we were talking about signing him, how we reacted. We were like, oh no,
he proved us
no.
wrong?
it
He
was a
absolutely did
stupid
prove us
deal.
wrong. Yeah,
He proved
but
us wrong.
listen, it took Morel Kelly what his last outing to finally have a damn good game. How many rough outings does Zach Gallen have?
Hey, listen, don't talk bad about Merrill
And
Kelly on
listen,
this show.
Brandon Fott finally had a bad game. Like you were just saying about
Finally,
Shelby Miller. So like everybody has at least that one game, but like those 3 other guys I mentioned have had a lot of bad games. And for Morel Kelly, maybe it's the pickle juice that the fans sent him, and that's actually helping. That's what it finally took. But he finally had a solid outing. Like
Dude,
it's been horrible all around from our starting five to our bullpen.
the funny
Like
thing is though, Dylan, you mentioned that you pitched the idea of Shelby Miller being a starter, and that is honestly not too far fetched because he is one of the 3 relievers that we have on the entire team that have an ERA at 3 or lower. It's him, Jalen Beeks, and Martinez.
I
Everybody
would
else
love
is
to
a
see
freaking
Beeks.
balloon.
Give Beeks the shot, or give Ryan Nelson the shot. What's Ryan Nelson's ERA?
It's like it's in the sixes.
We're better than the
but
tens.
here's the thing though, we were supposed to have 6 guys in our starting rotation though. So I mean
Okay, we got another guy that's been in and out of the clubhouse that does have starting experience. What do you guys think about potentially throwing Tommy Henry in there if Rodriguez continues to get thumped?
I'd like to see someone different, no matter who it is. So maybe they can spark something up. Maybe
Because I
the
mean,
other.
it's just wild to think that last year we had Montgomery getting shelled every single game, and then this year, freaking Erod has an ERA over freaking 7.
we
I
were
said
defending him. before the season starts, like, yeah, he came into the year like not healthy, this and that.
Right, we
But what's
defended
his
him a good
excuse
deal.
this year? What's
I
his
gave
excuse
him
this year?
There's
Dylan.
no
I'm not
excuse
gonna
this
lie.
year.
I gave him his flowers because I thought that he could return to what he was in Detroit, but you're allowing a seven. You know, if you're allowing 7 runs a game, you need to either figure it out or sit on the bench.
But it's like, why can't we just bring in new pitchers and have them play good? I mean, Corbin Burns played stellar against the Dodgers. What a good outing
He's
that was.
he's getting there. His ERA
Yeah.
is now under 3.
I guess his cutter, and he's saying himself like that cutter has been the greatest it's been in a long ass time. So Corbin can get it going great, but shit. I lost track of my fucking thought, but
I told you guys that Zach Gallen was going to be a roller coaster still, and
Right.
I mean he
You
is.
know,
That's who he is.
you know, it's absolutely insane. This year, like as early as it is, we've already blown 8 saves.
That's crazy. Hopefully
who's
they get all
blown
the
them?
blown saves out of the way in the beginning of the season. So
Because it's
Who's blown
like
them all though?
if we don't make a move for a reliever, or if we don't find somebody in our minor leagues that can shut somebody down come playoff game or playoff time, we either A, won't make the playoffs at all because we can't stop anybody, or we're going to be swept right out of the playoffs.
did that Trevor Bauer guy do anything that's unforgivable?
I mean, he's never been convicted of any of his accusations, and some of them that
That
I
didn't
guess
sound
have been
good.
beyond.
That didn't sound good at all. Never
I'm
mind. Never
just,
mind.
I'm just being honest.
I know. Yeah, yeah. You ain't saying nothing wrong, but if the answer is he's never been convicted of his accusations, probably not a good place to start.
Like don't get me wrong, like he would be a guy that I would love to have in here, but especially with that negative aura and that negative, media attention, I don't know if it'd be worth it.
No, he himself is not a humble enough person to take on the firestorm for because he's still a crazy lunatic.
Well, shoot, he did you guys hear that he tweeted out? It's just like, man, they reinstated Pete Rose, but I still can't get a chance to pitch in the league again.
Yeah, Pete Rose is dead, buddy. That's why they reinstated him.
It
That's
really was. It really was a lifetime ban.
yeah, no, it
Oh
really
That's
was.
my
They
what.
didn't play.
god,
They don't play games on the
Yeah,
gambling shit.
that's what they said. It was a
dude!
lifetime ban. That's what it
Wow.
was.
Dude, and seriously, that's sad. The second he's unbanned, and Pete Rose even said, "Hey, if you're not gonna unban me while I'm alive, don't bother doing it when I die."
Well, and they did that anyway, so they disrespected
Assholes.
his wishes.
Listen, respectively, if I was a family, I would go tell Rob Manfred to go fuck himself.
Right? Straight up.
People have wanted to do that without the fucking Pete Rose disrespect.
Well, they can,
Sure.
100%. They can't get in
Freaking,
trouble for saying that.
freaking Manfred is dog gunky.
Weren't they
Yeah.
gonna try to make a rule? They're trying to fuck with extra innings. What was it?
You put like
Ah,
a 1 second.
no. It was more than that. I think it was like on first and third.
Oh, dude,
What
that's
the
freaking ridiculous.
Yeah, something like that. I was like, bro, you're absolutely trying to speed up the fucking game, dude.
They need.
right.
Why don't you know the
I,
old saying? Don't freaking. If it ain't broke, don't fucking fix it.
I think that the pitch clock rule was the rule that they needed to make and they made it. So
There's too many leagues that are trying to do some bullshit that they don't need to freaking do. You got MLB trying to fuck with the game. You got Adam Silver with his freaking sponsorships, the freaking play-in tournament, and then you got Roger Goodell trying to make it 18 freaking games, and we're gonna play in Germany 2 or 3 times a year.
It's like teams
Stop
only.
with the bullshit.
It's
right.
like if you do that, teams only benefit. Oh, we got a double play, but runner already went to fucking home from third. So it's like, you feel me? So
Right.
it's like you can get a K in a double play and runner from third don't go home, but it's like that runner from first to home or from third to home is just astronomically like extremely high, you know. So obviously he just keeps trying to speed up the game.
Well, see, and the funny thing is like, as you mentioned, when you start that equation, having a runner on first thinks that you're, giving the other team the advantage. But if you set up the double play ball, that's actually worse than not having a guy on base at all.
Right.
Didn't they also remove the shift too, finally? Last year?
So.
I was actually in favor of that because I thought the shift was such stupid. Like, I was never a fan of the shift.
You talking about the infield shift?
Yeah, like on
Yeah.
defense.
Yeah, where like they'll like put all three guys and even the outfielder all on the left or right side because that's where like the batter would occasionally hit it like 80% of the time off contact because like it was so dumb. And then like once they hit it oppo field, like literally nobody was in left field and they would have to chase down after it.
Right.
Like,
It's like, hey, literally, it's an automatic ground out for some batters, and it's an automatic free base hit for some batters.
so you know how Corbin, so you know how like what's a good I can't think of a D-back right off the bat, but guy off the grid, you know how Joey Gallo hits immediately right field like 90% of the time?
Yeah.
So everybody will go right, even infield. And then nobody is like literally in left field and then boom, randomly like a single shot to line drive to third base and outfield, nobody's there. Dude's gonna
Double.
immediately get a triple.
Triple double.
Yeah,
That's,
The
like
park home run.
that's the thing. It's just like, just play the game naturally. Stop looking way too much into analytics or percentages and shit. Like, just let guys play their natural positions.
but also like it's also a bummer because like you can't do it to guys like Corbin Carroll if you're stupid enough. Like if you line him up and he hits an oppo, that dude's gonna hit inside the park without quick. He can go.
Right, for
So
sure.
Or not even that, but it's like if you have that, I mean, even if Corbin Carroll's on the other side of that equation, like he's got the wheels that him or a guy like Alec Thomas can get to that freaking left field side before the ball hits the ground.
yep.
That's what he said.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Oh, fuck, my bad.
Yeah, the inside the
That's
park.
great.
Yeah,
I'm gonna clip that moment because that's hilarious.
yeah,
Well,
inside
no,
the Parker.
I thought you were talking about when they were hitting, not in the field.
That's what I
I'm,
was saying.
I'm
Oh,
talking about when
you're
field
talking about him as a defender, right? As Corbin Carroll as a
defender.
defender.
No, it's talking about them hitting against the
No,
shift.
no, no. I know what you were saying. Frankie was saying something
Oh,
different. I think he
I
was
was talking
saying,
about the defensive side where you got a guy like Carroll or Thomas that could speed and get to that left side before the ball drops in play.
yeah,
oh, I
that's
see
right.
how that. Yeah, I see what he's saying. So
Yeah,
like, yeah.
you're
So
saying
if
the
we still decided,
opposite side of
so
the
if we still
equation.
decide, if we still decide a shift, we have advantage on defense, and those guys can get to the ball quick. Still, I see
Yeah,
what
I
he's
That's
think
hey
saying.
Dave, that's still a good clip.
that's probably why the uh rule got ditched because teams like the Diamondbacks would be absolutely devastating if they were able to do the shift.
Dude, we have a lot of like speed on our team. It's absolutely like
Yeah, we would be able to get everyone out.
Yeah,
Bring
well,
back the shift.
we have an off day today. The D-backs do, but we start. I'm pretty sure it's a three. Oh, it's against the Rockies and at Chase Field.
oh.
So we start a new series against Denver or Colorado. Same thing, literally same thing. So against the Rockies, three games, 4 games, tomato tomato. It should be a series win,
I
and
mean,
Yeah,
hopefully
let's
we make
get
a
it.
dent.
the
And hopefully
way
make
they
a
are
dent.
this year, there's no reason why we cannot win 3 out of 4, if not 4-0.
Yeah, they've
Yeah.
won 7 games.
So hopefully we make a dent in the standings from that series. Hopefully.
By the
Bud
way,
Black just got fired. So they're rolling with the interim coach right now when in my opinion it really should be the owner that should either step it up like our owner did or sell the team.
Bud Black is the scapegoat. And I'm just going to use this segment for 1 second to shout out to the one guy that lives in town here that goes to my work that is brave enough to wear a Colorado Rockies hat.
And I get to clown him up here. It's fun.
But I tell you what, the ones that are real ones, they're definitely, real ones. Like, you have to be passionate to stick with that.
They are miserable, dude. Especially the guy at my work that wears his Rockies hat every single day. He's miserable. He's like, this is fun.
I couldn't imagine like going to watch for the Rockies every day, get crushed by other baseball teams like just every day, knowing that they're gonna lose.
And the thing is, the wild thing is, they have a lot of great players in their history. You got freaking Todd Helton, Larry Walker, Trevor Story. Freak,
Keep
there's
going.
what?
I said keep going, but I'm just joking around. It's the other guy they had.
Hey, I'm on that cross.
It's all good. I think the Rockies should be a pretty good bounce back series for the Diamondbacks to just get the juices going, start hitting some home runs.
It will be Corbin Burns versus. It says right now Blalock, which he's disastrous, so it should be a win, and it should be cake work for Corbin. So
Cake work for Corbin. I like that. Dude, this whole ugh. The crazy thing is, with how awful the White Sox were last year, we have the Rockies that could freaking break that record this year.
That's crazy. Yeah, they just don't win very many games, dude. I don't understand it. But hey, man, the percentages of the us losing that series are very low. Also, what something else that had very low percentage was the Dallas Mavericks getting the freaking number one overall
Oh
pick
my,
in
yeah,
I've
the
the
low-key
NBA
been
lottery.
so eager
oh
for
my god,
this topic. I've been so eager for this topic. Listen,
Go ahead, bro.
I'm not meaning if any of our followers, I know Frankie and somewhat Damien here follows professional wrestling. I'm not trying to be the heel John Cena here and ruin professional sports for you guys when we talk about this. But this shit is absolutely fucking rigged. And the NBA out of all professional leagues doesn't even hide it anymore.
They don't care.
Like how in the like how did Charlotte Hornets how did they not get the number 1 pick? How are they at number 4?
because
But
they didn't get
Dallas
generational
who
talent.
but
If they would have
da-
traded Lamelo, they probably would have.
but Dallas who barely makes it to the playoffs, barely gets the number 1 pick after trading Luka Doncic? What?
And here's the
Like
thing about it.
what?
Think about it. How many times? And it's funny because it's the same franchise involved. The Hornets. They got the number 1 pick the same or the year after they traded Chris Paul, and the same year after they traded Anthony Davis.
Which is like what happened? Like they had a what, a 1% chance to get the number 1 pick?
1.8.
1.8% chance.
When LeBron left Cleveland,
Yep,
they were
that's
able to draft Kyrie Irving with the number one overall pick.
and then they
What
came together and brought Cleveland the championship later on.
what even happened to showing the draft lottery balls on live television and then picking it out? And even then, I still think that they put it like a certain amount of balls in there to favor the other teams. What
It's
happened to the lottery balls?
That's what she said.
But it's like obviously they have it written out in fucking format. They have to. It's like, oh, like obviously like, oh, the pick goes to them and them and them. It's already fucking written. It's not a surprise.
I just look at it this way, like as painful as it was to see our number 10 go to Houston, at least we still have our own actual first round pick this year. As far as the way it is, it's still nice to have a guy that we can at least, add to our team, hopefully with enough length and athleticism to grow with at least Dunn and Oso.
Yeah, they're doing a good job drafting so far. So hopefully we can draft, get some new people on the squad, and try to figure out what to do with this basketball team we call Suns.
And if you guys check out any of the mock drafts about the before right now or as of now,
No.
I've looked at a couple of them, and at 29, they do have us taking Yaxel Lindenberg, who's a center slash forward from UAB, who's averaging, almost averaged 18 points and like 9 rebounds a game. Actually, averaged 12 rebounds a game. My bad.
Does he show
I would
the
love to.
alignment does he show the alignment and he's the clear vision of the team or what?
Let me tell you, well, I mean, I'm not 100% with that, but he does have a lucrative offer to either defer from the draft and play at the University of Michigan.
Oh,
So
we
he
definitely
can't be too
drafting him
bad.
then. If he goes to the University of Michigan, you know Ishby is all over it.
It's funny though because Ishbia went to the rival state, so that's what
Oh, then
makes
you
it
know we're
really
not
fun.
drafting him.
What?
And you know we're not drafting him.
Well, shoot, Ishbia is all about them low hot dog prices.
You know what? I think that they're gonna buy out Bradley Bill. He'll go play somewhere else. Um, we figure out how to get someone else in.
And keep KD.
Yep, we keep KD and Book.
But it depends. Katie depends on the coach.
I love that. Do we keep Bol? That is one of the guys we need locked in.
I think so.
Love it.
How does Katie still feel about playing with Book and Book with Katie, vice versa? And depends what coach they bring in and how Katie. And as sad as it fucking sounds, it's like you're the worker. You're not the upper boss who makes the fucking decision. So you either deal with it or bounce. But like it depends. Like it shouldn't be where if he's okay with the coaching hire, whether he wants to be there or not. You know.
Yeah,
So it's whether if he's okay with the coaching hire or not, if he wants to be traded or not.
I think that it should be a coach that the players like though, because if not, then we're just gonna have the last 2 years all over again. And what's the point?
Or this new GM can be like, hey, I don't give a fuck how you feel or I think. I still want you gone regardless if I want you here and he can still trade KD. Who knows with this GM?
Right, for sure. Hey, if they trade KD, then they better make it happen. They better get a good haul because we traded so much to KD.
Oh
For it
yeah.
to end like this would just be crazy and be sad.
Like I'm sorry. Like if we're getting rid of KD, figuratively, we should at least get a top 10 pick, and if not another pick, either later on, a player or two that's established and it can at least average 10 points a game or more. Because KD at his age is still averaging 27.
He's still a walking bucket, yes, but he's like his turnovers. It's a problem. Like his X account.
The thing is, he's not the guy that's going to lead your team, but he's the finishing piece now.
I believe that. I believe he could be a good finishing piece.
And this is where I think, especially after you get freaking, you watch the Warriors get thumped by the Wolves, but the Warriors also eliminated the Rockets. Do the Rockets make that move for KD, and then we get our own number 10 pick back?
The Rockets are talking like they're not interested in us no
Hey,
more.
while we're still on the Suns, I don't want us to forget because I feel like we're never gonna go there. It's just like, well, shout out to Mikal Bridges on the New York Knicks. And before we go off the air, I want to wish me our boy Mikal luck on the Knicks, man. But unfortunate for Boston though, and Jason Tatum. It's such a bummer for Jason Tatum though, and hate for it to go down that way. But if Boston pulls out and goes to Eastern Conference and slugs it out with Indiana, good for them, man. But really pulling for Mikal.
I
I just wanted to put that out there because we're talking about the Suns and all that.
and I love that too. But also, my thing is like
Hell yeah.
I got to give love to my boys T.J. McConnell and Benedict Mathurin on the Pacers for being in the Eastern Conference Finals.
What
You
did they
guys
go to
think?
some? Did they go to some stupid college or something?
Yes, they did, Damien. They went to the Wildcats.
Yeah, so the Thunder and Nuggets play tonight in Denver at 5:30 Arizona time. Do you guys think they're gonna push that to 7? Because I think the Knicks and Boston might go to 7.
No, I think that the if it's 3-1, is it 3-1 right now?
They're both 3-2.
3-2.
Yeah.
Oklahoma City is in the leading.
Yeah, OKC's leading and New York Knicks are leading. They're
Well,
3-2
you said the game is in Denver.
in
I think
Denver
Jokic
tonight.
forces 7.
Woo! Yeah, I think the game they might push it to 7. If the game was in OKC, I'd say the series is over tonight. But
You,
since they're in Denver, I think Aaron Gordon's gonna have like one of those Aaron Gordon games and keep him alive.
you know what's crazy? People at my work are a lot of them are like majority of them are saying that Denver is done. They're already feeling done.
That's sad.
While we're over here
They
saying
look
that,
done.
hey, they still got a shot.
They look done though. They don't look like they can win the championship.
Their complaint is when Jokic is. Their main complaint is when Jamal Murray is making or shooting the ball 20 plus times to score only 28. That's their main complaint.
Yeah, Jamal Murray is a problem. He's always been that problem though.
Yeah,
And
that's what I.
But
That's
Jokic is kind of getting carried by his teammates this time, and not the opposite way around, which is good. But
I
it's
was gonna say
interesting when you're in a different state and you get to hear like all their perspectives and shit. You feel me?
for sure,
Yeah.
that's 100% because I mean it's knowing the perspective of the Arizona fan base living in there directly, and then living the perception of what people think and see of you living in other states. It is really wide, mind opening.
Oh yeah, I'd be telling them shit all the time that they don't know too about Arizona sports. Like, oh yeah, I'm like, yeah, bro, like
oh,
we're not
I
as
used
dog
to
shit as
love
you
that when I
think,
lived in
like
Washington. I used to love that when I lived in Washington, talking to them about Arizona sports. They would say something. I'm like, "That's a narrative. The actual stats are this," and they're like, "Oh shit, okay, yeah."
yeah, the guy was talking about earlier that wears the Rockies hat every day. He said it like a week ago. He's like, it must be so nice having a great baseball team like the Arizona Diamondbacks because because the Rockies are such dog shit.
See, and
Well,
that's another
they
thing.
do look like they are like one of the top 10 teams, like what people like. You see
And
Mm-hmm.
random people with D-back hats all the time.
as
Yeah.
frustrating as our bullpen is, like the season's still very young, and we finished a very tough part of the schedule at 23-21. So that's not very disappointing to be honest, especially with a lot of baseball left.
And we're not too far back in the division, so it's like,
So
We've
if
whatever.
we
only
can get the pitching figured out, we'll be golden.
Yeah, if I did the math right, we've only played 43 games too, so we're not even 50 games in yet.
That's
So,
still baby season. And you can tell Marte hasn't even been playing most of the games. People don't talk about that.
Not
oh,
only that,
that dude's already fucking cranking that shit out of there.
Yeah, he came back smacking homers. Like,
and for our
hey, I'm back,
bullpen,
guys. Smack, smack.
I wish he would do that for me on the show because he's been dog shit for me.
That's great. That's
I
great.
know. He's been on the
Speaking of the
major
show,
slump for me.
you got something, Frankie?
and another thing that we gotta consider is Puck is still injured, so we haven't even seen him pitch yet. So hopefully, when he comes back, he can lock it down like he has in the past.
Yeah, hopefully.
But if nothing else, I at least hope we have somebody down in the minors, whether it's double or triple, that has at least shown something, like at least a freaking 95 heater or something that where they can consistently get outs. Because if nothing else, it's worth a try compared to some of the guys we're throwing out there in the eighth and ninth inning.
No doubt.
Yeah,
That's
buddy.
bad. So, if you guys like what you see, like what you hear, you go down in the comment section down there and you push like, subscribe, and tell your friends and buy some merch to wear on your body, your sexy body, and you can be friends with us here at Arizona
Yes,
Sports.
sir.
And if nothing else, just come and have fun. We're trying to get as much credibility as we can, as much fun as we can. We love all of our fans, and we definitely appreciate all the support. We're grinding and climbing every week.
And let's sweat out this series against Colorado, y'all. It's gonna be a tough one.